Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Dion Lafacard. I'm the Technical Director for the Trinidadian Football Association, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you here today. And I also bring greetings on behalf of the FIFA Trinidad Normalization Committee. They also would like to tell Andrew, welcome very much. They had an important meeting to go to, so they couldn't attend. But we want to say welcome to everybody. We do have participants from Canada, from USA. We want to welcome, and from the Caribbean. So we want to welcome all those people who are from different parts of the world joining us here today. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce our featured speaker, Mr. Andrew Lewis, who is an Olympian for Trinidad and Tobago for the sport of sailing. Andrew is actually in the minute. Andrew is actually training right now. So we're so fortunate to have Andrew take some time off of his very busy schedule in preparation for the upcoming Olympics to come and spend this afternoon with us, an hour and a half with us. So Andrew, welcome on behalf of Trinidad and Tobago and everybody else from around the world.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Coach Dion. Much appreciated. And to the Trinidad Tobago Football Association. And warm welcome to all of you who took the initiative to come here and join us on this wonderful occasion to share nothing but positivity, a lot of hope, a lot of inspiration, a lot of guidance. The only reason I've taken my time out of here to join you all here this afternoon is because I believe that there's value that can be added to lift lives, to help you all, to inspire you all, to give you all something positive that could only help this situation. Whether you're having a tough time right now or you're having an amazing time, I'm going to share a large amount of information that I believe could help and inspire and push and guide. So I always encourage anybody, whether you're a good writer or not, whether you could spell or you can't, whether your handwriting is the worst or the best in your opinion, get a piece of paper, get a pen. If you're a technologically oriented person and you really want to write on your phone or on your laptop, feel free, because we only have a certain amount of capacity that we can carry in our brains, and we can't remember everything. But pen and paper could really take us so much further, and we could remember something that could be just the spark of the next generation in your life, the next thing, the next big thing, the next big opportunity. So grab something to make some notes. So I'll say a special welcome to the crew from St. Joseph Convent, from St. Joseph Convent, San Fernando. Welcome to you all. If you all are in the house, you could write a little hello there to make sure that you all are all inside, for those of you who joined from St. Joseph Convent. And we're going to talk about there is hope. And I like the concept, as much as most of you may have heard this acronym for hope, is helping other people every day. And this is really cool, because that's what we're doing here right now. Not only am I coming here to join you all to speak about the world of sports, to interact of how one can become a professional athlete and talk about many different areas of that and making a career around sports perhaps, but helping other people every day, I believe, is a massive part of purpose. Anybody who's helping people every day by being the best version of themselves, by being a teacher, by being a coach, by being a good athlete, they're helping other people without sometimes even recognizing it. So as you all got a short introduction about myself, Andrew Lewis, born in Trinidad and Tobago in 1989, 31 years old, on my way to my third Olympic Games in the sport of sailing, the laser class to be specific. Sitting here in Canada, doing my last set of preparations in Canada, and then I'll head back off to Spain before I head off to Tokyo for my third Olympic Games. And we're in the middle of a pandemic, and we understand what a pandemic is. We all have a good idea of how this pandemic has been affecting us. But the reality around what is happening is much more important. Yes, we must be safe and understand the health risks, But it's a time where the world has gone quiet, where there are more opportunities out there than one has ever realized inside their home, in front of a screen like we are now, and the ability to understand what this quiet time is really about. I really encourage everybody here to don't waste this time. It's never going to come back the way it is right now because nothing is ever the same. I don't believe we'll ever get the opportunity to experience a pandemic like this in your lifetime. And if we do, it won't be the same because nothing is the same. So don't lose this opportunity right now to master yourself, to master your sport. Yes, you might be stuck in your room most of the day doing school, but that doesn't mean if you're a footballer, you can't become a master of juggling indoors. That doesn't mean if you're trying to become a certain athlete, that doesn't mean you can't train indoors. We've seen an amazing ways of training indoors nowadays and how beneficial it can be. Last year, when I was stuck in Spain, all we could do for 6 weeks is pharmacy and grocery. We turned our entire home into a training base. We turned the living room into a gym. I turned my bedroom into a studio where I was reviewing footage of my competitors, reviewing footage of myself, learning more about my sport and the rules aspect, having conferences, motivating people far away, just not stopping and never losing this opportunity because this pandemic is an opportunity. I I feel levels of frustration at times. I'm human, just like we all are, of wanting to go to certain places, but the borders are closed, so can't go. Of wanting to do certain things that I used to do, but I can't do. Of wanting to go and do the things that my routine is normally built around, but I can't. We got to evolve in these instances. We got to evolve around these times and try to figure out how can we look inside of us? And wherever you all are coming in from around the world, you all will be engaging today virtually again. But I want to try and engage you all in a little bit of a different way. I want you all to start to ask yourself questions that I'm not sure you've been asked before. And the first question I want you to ask yourself, and if you have a pen and paper, please write it down. Write this question down in case you can't answer it right now. The first thing I want you to ask yourself is, who are you? It's a very, very big question. Who are you? Yes, I ask people these questions and they say, well, oh, they tell me their name, their age, and where they're from. But I think these are more external things that most people could tell you about who you are. I want you to ask yourself on the inside without, and one of the best ways to ask yourself, who are you, is by closing your eyes. A lot of people don't realize that. They start to ask themselves, who are you? And they start to look around. But what is around you is just an accessories around you. That's not who you are. What is around you is inside of you. So close your eyes if you want. Close your eyes and start to feel who you are. Who you are is a feeling, it's an expression that comes from your experiences, something you can feel in your heart that you're attracted to, that you feel like. You got to ask yourself this important question, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. If you can't answer this question, you need to explore it. You need to come to a place in your life where you know who you are. And remember, what you are today is not who you will be tomorrow. But while you're asking yourself this question, it's not to confuse you that say who I am today is not who I am tomorrow. It's as if we all are evolving to become closer and closer and closer to the best version of ourselves every single day. So ask yourself that question, explore that question as much as you can. And at the end of this session, I'm gonna ask one or two people to engage with me to tell me a little bit of who they are. And if you're up for a challenge or two, I'm gonna challenge you on some aspects around that. The next thing you want to ask yourself as you explore who you are is, what do you want? I'm gonna take you on a little bit of a journey. What do I want? My deepest desire and passion, right, is this: I want to be the best I possibly can be in my sport, in the sport of sailing. I really, really want to achieve greatness for my country, for myself. And by that means, my ambition, my goals has been to become the first person ever in the Caribbean to win a gold medal in the sport of sailing in the laser class, not only in Trinidad and Tobago. But in order for me to achieve that, I need to ask myself, what do I want? Every single morning and every single night. I'm a guy, I pray a lot. I pray to the Almighty to help me get my guidance, the what I need for today to continue to work towards that dream. to continue to get better at the sport of sailing. To understand that while I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, such a small island, does not matter. While I'm in a sport that doesn't exist much in Trinidad and the Caribbean, doesn't matter. While I didn't qualify for my first Olympic Games in 2008 and I wanted to quit and I felt like I was going to give up, doesn't matter. While I went to my first Olympic Games in 2012 at 19 years old and didn't even make it to the finals, not even close, doesn't matter. While in 2015, I almost died, had a massive accident, which I'll talk about later, couldn't walk, couldn't breathe, couldn't see properly, I just thought that while I was 8 months before Olympic Games, about to achieve an Olympic medal status because I was right there, everything came down on me, literally. Then I had to get up. Doesn't matter. What matters is the present moment. We got to remember that what matters is the present moment. Achieving your ability to know what you want, understand who you are every single morning, every single night, and being aware of it in your best version of yourself is what matters. So we're going to explore a little bit of that today. And people, there are two things that people have often told me. And I used to say this. And this was a bit hard to say. I used to say that it is easy for me to do. But it may be easy for me to do, and this may be one of my gifts, but it is very, very hard for others to do. It is very easy for me to have something very tragic happen in my life, and all I could see is the possibilities and opportunities. That's all I see. Down on my hospital bed, whatever it is. Don't qualify for Olympics, whatever it is. Stuck in a country, pandemic, Olympic postponed. I don't care. I only see the opportunities. And if in between there I get frustrated and I have a moment or two where I get a little bit rattled, I press my reset button and I go again. I'm an opportunity-oriented person. We must build this skill set. It is not everybody's natural gift. I believe it was one of my natural gifts. And I'm sharing that with a lot of people around the world nowadays because it's hard for others. It is extremely hard. They get consumed by what has happened versus being into what can happen with what has happened. Let me repeat that. They get consumed by what has happened and not by seeing what can happen with what has happened. This is very important. No matter if you're in a situation like me where I felt like I was on my deathbed, where all I said to myself was, Andrew, if you could learn to breathe on your own again and you could take this tube out of your lung, if you could learn to walk again with this broken leg that you have, no joke, this is how I said to myself, if you could learn to eat again with this face of yours that's just been reconstructed, well, why can't you sail again? And that was my simple concept around me lying on a hospital bed, tubes inside of me, fully connected to machines, didn't know where my life was going. So what did I do?
Andrew, sorry. I don't know if the audience knows. And just give them the scenario, what happened, why you ended up in hospital, because you were in Brazil. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you were going back to your apartment during the Olympics, climbing a wall, and you want to share what happened, Andrew, please?
Yeah, sure. I was in Brazil in December 2015. So we're talking about 8 months before the 2016 Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro. So my goal of going to Brazil as often as possible was to become a local with the winds, the waves, the currents. I was consistently training inside Brazil so that I could feel as home as possible. Upon returning back to the apartment with my training partner, we forgot the house keys on the inside of the apartment. So I being the shorter one, he being the taller one, he lifted me on top of the wall like boys would do, jump over the wall to go inside the house as normal as I'm sure many of you have done in the past. Except this situation, it was a very high wall and the wall had a cap on it. A cap is like a piece of concrete, like a roof that when you come to open your door and it's raining, you don't get wet. So you could open your door, the front door, and you don't get wet. But this cap wasn't obviously built very well. And when I was jumping over to the next side, the cap came off with me. we don't really know exactly what happened to me on the other side because the camera footage of what was captured. We don't know how I was able to get so brutally damaged with the crushing of my face and having to do facial reconstruction, the breaking of the leg, the breaking of the ribs. Maybe the concrete hit me in the air. Maybe I fell in certain ways. Concrete crushed me in certain parts. When I was found on the other side by my same training partner, unconscious, well, in my opinion, unconscious, um, it was a bit of a mystery of what had just happened. So when we look at that accident and we look at it from a perspective of what had happened, as I mentioned, walking was out of the picture because of a broken leg, fibia and tibia, bones coming out of my leg, very tragic in my opinion when I woke up to that. Then I couldn't breathe properly. They had all these tubes in my lung because two of my ribs went into my left lung. So it was very painful to breathe and the lung had deflated. And then my face, if you think about your face, you have your skull and then you have the lower part of your face. So from the where your eyes connect below and your nose connect, it is the lower line of your face, and then you have your skull. So I broke my face away from the lower part of my face, away from my skull, and had to have facial reconstruction. And see, the facial reconstruction was the most brutal part of all the surgeries because you cut your head from ear to ear, and they peel down your face. I had no idea this is what was gonna happen, by the way. They peel down your face, probably till about just below your nose, and they reconnect your head to your skull with plates and screws. About 52 screws in my face with nine plates. Um, I could still feel all the screws here. I could feel screws all over my face. And then they cut you below here, below your neck, and they rebuild your whole jaw. And then at the end, they put these big bolts inside your jaw, and then they like wire your jaw together for your jaw to heal as straight as possible. So you can actually, I don't know if you could see, but you can see this massive scar that goes across my head that will forever be there because hair will never grow back on that area. So it was a massive, massive accident, freak accident that happened. And it put me in the hospital for 15 days in an ICU in Brazil. It The best way to say it is I was waiting for my life and I didn't really even realize it. That's how this gift that I've been given of looking things at so in such a positive way, I didn't even realize that most of the time. And the doctors were always in shock with some of the questions I was asking or telling them, because a doctor would come to me and say, well, how are you feeling today? I said, doc, I think in about 35 days I'll be walking out of here, just walking around normal. And he'd be like, who? I mean, yeah, I was on different drugs to help me with the pain, but the doctors were really thinking that these were the drugs speaking. But I wasn't joking. I wasn't joking. My father came to see me in Brazil, and I told my father, I said, you'll see me at the start line of the Olympic Games. And he was like, what? What is this? What is going on with my son? Like maybe the doctor needs to check if he hit his head also. A lot of people were asking me these questions. And I remember saying these things. It is because it wasn't a joke. It
So
was, I
Andrew,
really believe this.
Andrew, let me ask you. So you're lying there, all battered and bruised, especially now, the early part of your medical treatment, and the doctors are wondering, this guy is talking about walking in a few weeks and different stuff, and I could tell, you're already thinking of when is my next race, and people are wondering, Andrew, what about that? What was it in you that made you feel, hey, I'm going to be out of this? What this is? I mean, this is an incredible story. Please, Andrew, tell us.
Um, Honestly, I don't believe I was born exactly like this. I believe I have developed this gift of I could close my eyes and I could really feel the future of what I really want to be. Now, I cannot say I could predict everything is going to come through and happens exactly how I feel it. But a lot of times it does. And this is my mental training. I close my eyes, I would see myself walking again. Between all of the different surgeries and the doctors I was seeing and the way I was feeling, I would just close my eyes and take a little mental training around watching myself. I could see myself. I could see myself in my yard, in the complex, in the apartment complex. I live at home in Trinidad, walking again, just visualizing it, visualizing it. So where were all these beliefs coming from? These are beliefs coming from my visualization process. And the visualization process of mine was so strong, I could feel it so well. Sometimes I visualize things and I'm forcing the visualizing because I can't, it's not true to me. I can't feel it. But that's okay. I believe sometimes when trying to do our visual training and our mental training, some things we have to continue trying to visualize, trying to visualize. I remember when the doctor came to me and he said, Andrew, apparently you said you're in a lot of pain, you need my help. I said, Doctor, listen, I am in serious pain right now. I have never felt a pain like this in my life. And I honestly, and this was one of my really low moments. And we have a lot of low moments in our life. And I said, I don't believe this was a negative thing in my opinion. This was an honest thing. I said to the Almighty, I said, Heavenly Father, if you want to take me right now, it's okay. I will go in peace and love. It's okay. I don't believe I need to sit down here and go through this pain because they're cutting me up. They're putting metal inside of me. They're stitching me up. They're cutting me up again. They're stitching me up. They're cutting me up. They're stitching me up. They're rebuilding me week by week, day by day. And it's just surgery after surgery after surgery. And I am in control of nothing but following the professionals, the doctors who, under their experience, are taking me down this journey of trying to rebuild me and get me back with all the broken bones and the broken face and the lung deflated and just the experts doing their thing. And I'm trying to navigate through this thing and visualize coming out of it. Trying to visualize pain, how to not feel pain is something I wasn't able to do. Couldn't do it. It was so painful. I couldn't see myself just getting rid of pain. What I could see myself is this coming to an end. So there's sometimes when you try visual training, right? And I want to encourage you all to when you start to close your eyes, some call it meditation, some call it prayer, some call it visual training, whatever it is you want to do to create. I believe we were all created by the Almighty, and the Almighty gave us the power to create our future. And this version of how I said it could be taken in your own way of how you grew up, of how your religion is and how your background is. But I believe we all have the decision to say yes and no, go left or right. And we all have the ability to decide how we want to create our future. And I'm always trying to create my future in a way that it's helping me grow and helping others grow. Even in the hospital, in my lowest moments, I would have a nurse or a doctor come and visit me, and I would be in pain. And I would simply just say to the nurse or doctor, and they speak Portuguese, so I'm not too sure how much of them understood me, but I would say, I just want to let you know, I appreciate you. And I am suffering. I don't believe I'm getting the best treatment possible, but I would always start with that to ask to get something. And even if I wasn't, and if I didn't need anything, I would still tell him, hey, doc, I appreciate you. Nurse, I appreciate you. And this level of gratitude consistently, when people say, Andrew, you're a really lucky guy, or Andrew, you're a blessed fella. Yes, we all are blessed. Just to make it on this, just just to make it on this planet, you are blessed. You got to
Andrew,
remember
sorry,
that.
can I just ask the all the youths listening to us or everybody listening, can you just quickly use the chat and just put for me in there for Andrew what you felt about that story and what was inspiring about that just that's a little bit you shared so far. Just put that in the chat for me. If can you guys do that? Just use the chat and put it in. I want quite a few of you guys. Come on, everybody, use the chat. Let's put it in. Vroom, vroom in the Zoom, as they say, as my brother said, right? To never give up. Brilliant. I felt surprised. He was still able to think about the future. Wow. And there is still hope. Wow. Determined. He put in stuff, guys, to have faith. It was very frightening. Never give up. Always move forward. Having gratitude. Having gratitude. Gratitude regardless. Wow. He was a real fighter. He was able to believe. Whoa, believe again. I'm amazed at his strength. Being grateful for everything. Keep putting it, guys. Keep putting. Never give up. Wow. Because I mean,
Wow.
to be keep putting your stuff, guys. Andrew, I mean, not many people can face something like that so positively. And
Mm.
you're in so much pain. You're in so much pain. And Andrew, tell us from there, how did the road to recovery lead and for you getting back saying, I'm gonna go back to another Olympics? Or did you say at some point, okay, I think that's it for me for the Olympics? Can you share that little transitionary period, Andrew, for where you are right now, please?
Absolutely. So coming out of the hospital after 15 days in Brazil in the ICU, I just really wanted to go home back to Trinidad. I missed my family, my girlfriend at that point in time, now my wife. I just wanted to come out to this hospital. I had enough surgeries. I lost enough blood. I lost enough weight. I have enough stitches inside of me. I just want to go home now. And I reached home and they took me straight off of the plane. I've never had this experience before, and I don't believe I want to have it again. But you go straight off of the plane in Piarco Airport into an ambulance, straight to the hospital. So another hospital again. And they did this to take me back to check out, see how was I, did I, because my lung was affected. They said, okay, cool, and see if he had an okay flight. Is his lung deflated or is his lung okay again? So I went back to Trinidad. I spent another night in the hospital. And then the following morning, a doctor came to see me. And a doctor analyzed me in Trinidad. Imagine this. Doctor analyzes me in Trinidad and said, Andrew, we need to do one more surgery on you. I said, nah, doctor. He said, you can go home and you'll come back in about 2 or 3 days and we'll do your last surgery on your face. You have one more surgery to do. Otherwise, your jaw is not going to heal well. At that point in time, I said, you know what, it is what it is. Let the professionals guide. You have coaches, you have nutritionists, you have different people of your life that guide you because they're specialists. I believed in him and I believe in them. So I continued off to home, came back, did my next surgery, spent another night in the hospital, then I went home. From the time the doctors were said, okay, that's the end of your surgeries, I made an agreement with all my doctors that I was going to start back training. This is important to recognize here. I was going to start back training immediately. I started back training immediately. Not a couple of weeks after getting back out of the hospital, my surgeries, immediately. So what did training look like for me? Being super thin, all these metal things in me and discomfort and pain. Well, the first set of training, is important to recognize this, was to increase my mental training, to spend time during the day focusing on seeing myself in the boat again one day, seeing myself walking one day. Then another part of my training was making sure my nutrition and my health was at its highest level possible. And then the last part of my training, which came in about a week and a half after I got home from the hospital, was I made a deal and agreement with my doctor. I said, doctor, what is the limit of where I can push and what I can't push? And I'll be common sense here. You're an athlete, you're fit, you're going to recover much faster than most people will. So this is the benefit of being an athlete. For those of you who want to know what is the real benefit of some parts of an athlete is you recover faster from accidents and injuries. But at the same time, I got a spin bike, an indoor bike, and I put zero resistance on it. And I would just sit there on the bike, moving, no resistance. The goal was to keep my blood flowing as much as possible. And the more your blood flows, is the faster your body recovers. You're adding oxygen into your blood and you're starting to speed up the recovery process. I was not putting any pressure or stress on my body, just moving the blood. I couldn't walk, which normally walking would be a good way of doing that. So I just had to do spin bike. And anytime there was, the doctor would say, anytime you feel pain that's not normal, you stop and rest. Anytime you feel discomfort, that's okay. Yes, a little discomfort on my lung, 'cause my lung was getting back. A little discomfort in my face, and my face was becoming less swollen. A little discomfort in my leg, and my leg was becoming less swollen. And I just did every single day I was doing something, whether it was eventually with physiotherapy, doing physiotherapy 7 days a week. I didn't have a physiotherapist 7 days a week. I did some of it myself. The physio would give me exercises. I did the exercise every single day. And I had my wife, my girlfriend at one time around me. She was helping me walk around the house. Eventually, um, she would also challenge me to at one point in time I had a wheelchair. I had a wheelchair for about I would say 3 or 4 days. The doctor asked me to get in a wheelchair because I was coming off of different drugs and stuff that was to help the pain. And he was worried I got dizzy. And I said, Doctor, this wheelchair is not for me. I will use a walker and look like a grandpa and walk around with my walker. I'm not going to sit down in this wheelchair. It's not going to help my growth. He said, no problem. Just have someone by your side when you're walking and you walk. I said, no problem. I'll organize that. So I got a walker. And then after having a walker for about 1.5 weeks, I said, I don't want this walker anymore. I'll get a stick. So I got a stick. And I would keep pushing myself with common sense and with understanding me as a human being. Because by this point in time in my life, I knew the questions I asked you to ask at the start. Who are you and what do I want? I was pushing myself, not beyond my limits, but close, trying to recover. And this is common sense, in my opinion. I'm a very experienced athlete. And at that time, I was also very experienced. I know what is good for me and what's not good for me. I know what is going to make me sick. I know what's going to make me healthy. So putting in all that healthy upward spiral and stuff into me, food, air, beverage, people around me, the whole attitude around me. And I brought a team together. This is really important. We all need a team in our life. If you look at me on my boat, you're only going to see one person, just me and one sailboat. My team is massive. I have about 60 something people on my team right now. You put my whole team on my boat will sink. That's how big my team is. People say, Andrew, who's on your team? What team is he talking about? I have my wife, I have my family, I have my coaches, I have my mentors, I have my nutritionist, I have my strength and conditioning physiologist, I have my different people who play different roles in media, in video, and I have all kinds of people around me in my life that I have brought into my life. I've created this team. I've brought them around me. I encourage you to build a team. Without that team, in that moment of my life, without my wife, without my family, without the physiotherapist, without my coaches, without the doctors who put me together in Brazil, and the list goes on, I would not be here today as on my way to my third Olympic Games, as healthy as I am, as knowledgeable as I am. I built a team around me. It doesn't matter how old you are, even if you're young as who we have in here, we have Isaiah Wilson. Even if you're as young as Isaiah Wilson, you can build a team around you. It doesn't matter how old you are. So we need to acknowledge that, first of all, we can build whatever it is we desire, whatever it is we want. We got to bring it in. So I just continued training. And we got to remember now, the accident happened in December 15th, 2020, December 15th, 2015. That leaves 8 months to the Olympic Games in Rio. So after 3 months, let me go back a bit. After 35 days, I was walking again, by the way, but not the best walk in the world. I was kind of more of a limp, but I was walking again. No crutches, no stick, no wheelchair, no walker. And about 2 months, I was jogging, not the world's best jog, not the world's most comfortable jog, but I was jogging again. And about 3.5 months, I was back in the boat sailing again. Was there discomfort in my leg that had broken? Yes. Was I very light? Yes. Was it hard for me? Yes. Did I expect it to be easy? No. The greatest things in life that we want are hard. And the only way to achieve them is through the one and the most important thing is hard work. If we work hard, right? You want to write this down if you can. If you work hard, life will be easier. It's a fact. Hard work helps. Hard work makes your life easier. So And then if I was back in the boat, and I said to myself, "Well, if I'm back in the boat, I got a couple more months to go of training. Maybe I can go to the Olympic Games." And guys, this is really important to remember this, that the Olympic Games is not everything in my life, but life is very special to me. The ability to get back on my feet, the ability to eat again, the ability to breathe again properly, the ability to walk again. These are the gold mines to me that I was really appreciative to have again. So don't take walking, breathing, and many things that we have in life for granted, because you wake up one day and then by the evening it could be gone, like it happened to me. It's a very, very important thing to realize. I don't make joke at walking, breathing, and eating. Those are some really, really fundamentals in my life that I have so much respect for and so much love for. It has increased by nature. And eventually, the Trinidad Olympic Committee we had discussions, and they said, well, you need to be able to complete a race that is similar to the Olympic Games, which is going to be 10 races. With the national body of sailing and the Olympic Committee and everybody, I went off to Mexico to the World Championships, which was 14 races, um, and I was pushing it. I just did 10 races. I didn't finish, and I went home just to showcase, because I had to really push to go through those 10 races. It was hard for me, and I knew that Olympic Games, I only had a chance to do something special if the wind was going to be light, if the conditions were going to be easy. All right. So now is a very interesting part of this story, because Rio de Janeiro is known for the conditions to be very light and steady, with lots of current, but light and steady. So I was there thinking to myself that, well, I'm still going to have a very good Olympic Games, because it's not going to be requiring me to have too much physical attributes to compete. Well, I don't know what happened in that Olympic Games and what the Almighty was trying to tell me, but it was brutal condition. I thought my leg was gonna break again. It was like the perfect storm out there, massive wind, massive waves. I was asking myself, what am I doing out here? What am I doing here? And the truth was, what I was being out there, it was just showing me, Andrew, that you can achieve greatness. You can weather these storms. I sailed every single race. I did not even get close to the finals, but I pushed through. I finished every single race. I tried to beat as many people as I can. In my opinion, I knew I had no place beating anybody there after what I had just went through. But I was still beating athletes from around the world, from big nations, with a being super light and a leg that wasn't performing as well as I wanted. And honestly, I was really grateful. I have so much respect and love for the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, because they still let me go and fulfill my dream. Because they could have told me no. They could have said, no, you're not in a medal contending position. No, we don't want you to go. But no, they let me go and achieve my dream. And that I have so much respect for, because you never know with Olympic committees. They have a lot of say. And I hear not in our Olympic committee situation, but in many other athletes around the world have had challenging situations where they don't meet criteria, but they still qualify and they don't get to go. So anyhow, I competed the Olympic Games. I managed to enjoy the experience, but it did not leave me satisfied. It didn't leave me satisfied. So what did I do? I said to myself, let's go again. And I knew that this Olympic Games, which is the one I'm getting ready for in a few weeks, will be very different. It will be so different because in the Olympic Games, and this is where they say life never gets easier. In the Olympic Games in Rio, there were 45, 46 athletes. And in the end of the day, that was not too hard for me to qualify with the skills that I have, because I was going there for a medal. I've always been like a top 20 athlete in the world. When we look at the Olympics now for Tokyo, they cut it down to only 36 people are gonna get to go. The 36 best in the world in my sport will get to go to Olympic Games. And I said to myself, wow, I have to really work hard to qualify for this Olympic Games now, because I'm coming off of this big injury. I honestly, I did not know if I can do it. It was scary.
I'm just sorry. Let me cut you for a sec. So you said they're only going to have the best 36 in the world compete at the Olympics. How many, if you could give us a number, how many people are you really competing with? How many people are trying to become that 36?
Thousands from all over the world. But in theory, when you go to the World Championship, it's the best 150 in the world that get to come to try and achieve it.
Wow,
You hear
wow.
me?
That's yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing, Andrew. That's amazing. So thousands try to get to the world championships, and then out of the 150, 35 from that 150 get to the Olympics. Wow, just so this is amazing, Andrew. Please go ahead. Sorry.
No problem. And it's actually 34 because Japan automatically gets a free qualification. So
Wow.
it's tough. And when you think about it, no matter how many Olympic games you go to, how well you succeed, I've always believed that the Olympic qualification is even harder than the Olympic Games when it comes to having pressure on you, when it comes to having production, because it's once you've qualified, you can more relax and then go there and compete and work for your medal. But getting there is one of the hardest things I've done every single time. I tried four, it was my fourth time, but I've only made it to now 3 qualifications that I've qualified. And I remember, funny story enough, that I was on my way to my qualification, which was going to be in Miami in 2020. And for those of you who don't know, Coach Dion actually has a twin brother who's a real good friend of mine. And I called him and said, I'm actually nervous. I'm really nervous about this qualifier. And he sent me this video around a level of confidence that Tiger Woods had. And I looked at this video, I analyzed this video, and I used the mental training around this video to help me go through my confidence aspect around qualifying. And when we got to the qualifier, it came down in the end to the finals where there were going to be 7 Canadians against me from Trinidad. That's how it came down into the finals. 7. I had to fight against all these 7. And think about it like this. In sailing, yes, there's one person per boat, but they're like fighting against you, trying to block each other's win. And there's only one guy from Trini there, just one Trini. And all this other group fighting against one another to block each other's win. I had to navigate myself through. I started the race and I wasn't making the qualifier. They were ahead of me, they were all over me, but just my resilience and my sense of never giving, using my experience and my tactics, I was able to climb. The race was about 45 minutes long, climb boat by boat, boat by boat, boat by boat, and get to where I needed to be to qualify and secure myself my 3rd Olympic Games. And that being said, the funny way to think about it is I am sitting in Canada here now. Canada is a massive country, and because of a little island like Trinidad and Tobago, Canada will not be representing somebody in this sport in the big games. So once again, look at it in that way. Your country doesn't make you who you are. You make your country. It doesn't matter how small your island is. You make your island. 1.5 million people from my country, millions and millions of Canadians, all fighting against me in that race with 9 people. Nah, you got to think big because you can. Remember one thing, you are a human being. Don't limit yourself to your country. Don't limit yourself to your family. Don't limit yourself to anything, because the world of opportunities are out there. No matter where you come from, no matter where you've gone, it's all about where you are now, where you are going. So we're sitting here in Canada, a couple of weeks away from the Olympic Games. I've just shared a lot of my story with you all. And I want to start to engage with you a little bit to answer some questions and to dig into a couple of the topics. And the first thing I want to is you want to say anything before I start, Dion?
Yeah, so Andrew, no, you go ahead and just if you want the kids to use the chat or the raise hand, you just tell them what you want. So you go ahead, Andrew. You're going great. You go ahead.
All right. So the first thing I want to do, I want to start off by saying that is there anybody in this group that has answered any of the 2 questions I asked at the start? Anyone could share with me who they are and what they really want? I want to help you add some value to that aspect of it. Anybody has anything they want to share? I would like someone to come and speak with me if you have that confidence. If you don't, you could, we can engage in some aspect. And I actually will call on people if you all want to. So anybody wants to feel a little bit of confidence to give it a try? Because I use these opportunities to show you all that by sharing with somebody this part of your story and this part of your life, it can really help you as a human being build confidence in speaking. All right, who we have here? Damian, is that how you pronounce your name?
Yes, sir.
All right, beautiful. Share with me. How can we? What you feeling? How you feeling? Talk to me.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I was a little scared of coming on here.
All right, that's all right. So before you go, I want to just let you know that I want to congratulate you and celebrate you a little bit that for making even just putting up your hand, because I've had these same experiences in my life. It takes strength. It takes a decision, because I know that there are numerous people in this room who want to share something. They have a desire, but they're scared. And taking the opportunity to step up and go for it is where it starts. We have to start somewhere to get somewhere. So you have started. This is a massive, massive thing. And so let's go. Tell me anything.
I say one thing about myself is I feel like I feel ambitious sometimes. Well, actually, I do feel ambitious because like that's why I say who I am. And then as for the goal part, I'm a little nervous right now. I haven't done this, so I'm sorry, but and as for what do I want, so I play for a club, a soccer club, called IDF, Interdevelopment Football, and so our goal is so we won state cup a couple weeks ago, and our team is going to nationals. So as for goals, I would say I would want to win nationals for the club and as a team, because it'll be the very first time for us to win nationals. And as for my big goal, I would just want to dominate the game, go to the highest level and dominate, just be the very best, to be honest with you.
Well, that's massive. I mean, these things that you have just expressed, you're well on your way. These are really, really good. You want to write them down. You want to protect these goals. You want to protect these visions of yours. You want to safeguard them. You want to grow them. And you want to share these with people who add value to it. It's like people who are going to add water to your tree and help your tree grow. So, thanks for coming on and sharing that. And I wish you all the best in your goals. And before we go, before I go to someone else, I want to just share something with you that you, along your journey, you're going to have two things taking place. One, doubt. And I want to remember that. We all have doubt. And if you take the word fear, and we look at the word fear, and you want to write this one down, fear is not real. And before I explain a bit more fear is not real. Danger is real. If you walk in front of a bus that's going 100 miles an hour and you get hit by that bus, you'll probably die. That's dangerous. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Write that down. False evidence appearing real. We create our fears by our experiences that have come into our life. Whether someone tells you something, whether you see it, whether you eat it, whether you breathe it, however it comes across to you, fears are created by ourselves. So if we create it, we can also uncreate it. We can let it go. This is massive. You've got to really understand how you utilize that. So as you go out there with your dreams in your football career and many other aspects that you've shared, and I'm sure you have much more than what you shared, protect them, remove these fears and these doubts, let them go little by little, build a team around you. Yes, you are in a football team, but you need much more of a team than that. You need mentors. Yes, you need your coaches, you need teachers, you need people around you who will help you get where you want. Yes, and you said it very clearly. You want to be a super good footballer. You want to be the best footballer you could possibly be. And by you being that, that's going to take you to a place. And hard work is what is going to take you there. Go ahead.
That's awesome. Thank you very much, Damian. And then we have Isaiah Wilson had his hand raised. Isaiah, please go ahead.
Isaiah.
I am bold and fearless.
Isaiah, just talk a little louder, buddy. Just talk a little louder, please. Yeah.
I am bold and fearless. My goal would is to help Trinidad and Tobago win the World Cup.
Isaiah, I want you to take an opportunity here with me. I want to feel something with you. I heard you say the words bold and fearless. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
I love those two words. We need to feel those two words. I want you to give me a much more of an expression that you are bold and you are fearless. Give me that. Give me some more expression around. Feel it. Give me.
I am bold and fearless.
I'm not feeling it. Go again.
I am bold and fearless.
One more time, even stronger.
I am bold and fearless.
Yes, you are. That's what we're talking about, Isaiah. And I want to say thank you very much for bringing that. And remember that you are. Write those two words down, make them big, put them on your mirror, or wherever you are. Take that bold and that fearlessness into your life and let people know that you're respectful, but you're bold when it comes to doing what you want. And you are fearless, you're going after your dreams and helping Trinidad and Tobago one day win the World Cup. Beautiful. Thank you, Isaiah. We have Yannick next. Let's go, Yannick.
I think I'm great.
Okay, Yannick, speak louder, buddy. And Andrew, let me say, Yannick is one of our table tennis champions in the country.
Beautiful. Let's go, Yannick.
Yeah, I think I'm great, and I want to become the best table tennis player in the world.
All right. Anything else?
I think that's
All right.
it.
All right. So this is a very important moment. We have to learn something. If you haven't learned already, called your I am presence. Your I am presence is who you are. If you're selling yourself, I think, maybe, and using those kind of words, you're only giving it some value. It's like one foot in, one foot out. You are something, and when you bring it to somebody, you tell them what you are. So I'm going to ask all of you all to create something called your I am presence. And I'm going to share a bit of my presence with you. I want you to feel this. You have to have one of these, right? Remember, your I am presence is what everybody around you will feel when you live. I am smart. I am strong. I am an Olympic sailor. I'm on my journey to Olympic gold medal. I am an athlete from Trinidad and Tobago. I am love. I am respect. I am passion. I am a fighter. I am a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. And the list goes on of who I am. You can't be telling me, well, I think, no, you got to have much more than that, Yannick, because you are Yannick. You are much more than just what you think. So I want you to bring a little bit more of your I am presence. So Yannick, I want you to share two things that you are. And I want you to use the words I am and share it. And I want us to feel it. All right, give us that emotion. Go ahead, Yannick.
Can't just get some time to think.
You already have one of the words. You already have one of the words. So just throw the letters I am behind it. What was the first thing you said to me when you came on?
I am great.
I am great. You are great, Yannick. That's how easy it is to start like that. All right. You don't have to start with maybe all the passion that I have. You'll get it eventually. It's just to start somewhere. I am great. Beautiful. All right. So create a I am passion around who you are. And that will really help you. Some people say, Andrew, it's hard for me to connect with people. I try to speak to people, but they don't understand me. You want to use I am presence to help you connect with others so they can feel you. If someone can feel you, they can connect with you in a certain way because they realize where you're going. And be careful with the I am presence. Anybody else?
Amani Wilson. Go ahead, Amani.
Hi everybody. So I am ambitious. I'm powerful.
Beautiful. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Amali.
Amali. You are. I love that. Amali, tell me a bit more about you. Anything else you want to share with me?
I want to at least get Trinidad to a better position in rugby.
Okay, rugby in the house. All right. Tell me, what is really? Let's dig a little bit deeper here. what is hard for you? What is some of the challenges you have? What is really hard?
So first of all, I just get a little, as a person who is like, anybody could tell me the littlest negative thing and I just like
Mm,
take it to heart. So like
mm,
if somebody tell me, oh, you're not good at this, you're not good at that,
mm,
that is like, you know.
mm,
So as playing rugby, yeah, some people say that, well, most people say you had to be like strong and tough and all that. But as you can see, as a skinny person, so um so yeah, it has got a lot of backlash from that. But I just want to prove everybody wrong as well.
beautiful. And I'm so glad you shared this with us here today because this is huge. The ability to get through these times that people tell you you're too skinny, you're too short, you'll never be a rugby player, you'll never be good, you'll never be this, you'll never be that. What happens, right? We spoke about fear just now, is when somebody expresses something to us, we react in a certain way. Human beings are reactive people. We react to everything that happens to us. The more we get experience and the more confidence we build in who we are, is the better we can react to the things that are happening around us. So while you're having these challenges, it makes you maybe feel do you ever feel like hot inside when somebody tells you something that you
Yeah,
don't like?
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
feel
You go ahead. It feels what?
it's feel at first you started like, feel bad,
Mm,
and then you just for me, I doesn't want to say anything. I just be quiet and stay in my own
mm,
corner after.
okay. All
So
right.
like that
So
was one of
this.
so before I used to play football, right? And that was one of the reasons I stopped playing football and ended up going and play rugby. Because but I love this sport now, so
Beautiful. I'm glad you found a love for this sport. But I want to let you know that it is I have gone through many of these situations before, so I can relate to my own experiences. It is very, very hard when you have people picking on you, when you have people pushing you around. And sometimes it comes from people you least expect, but it comes. And this is the inconvenient truth. I mean, you mustn't let it deter you from being what you want. If you want to be a football player, you want to play football, you can still play football. You can find another place to play football. You can find another group to play football with. Don't let the people around you push you into things. I'm glad it's taken you to rugby because you found a love for rugby. But try your best to let each of these opportunities be more of what I call your fuel. These people are fueling you up. They're filling up your tank to become a success story. Not don't let them bring you down. Fill up that tank, and anytime you have somebody, I call it your toolbox. You gotta have some tools in your toolbox that you could just pull out and fix all the situations that you go through. So just pull out another tool, all right? Pray for that person, let that person take a rest, ask that person to just give you a space or whatnot. You need to step away from that energy and find better energy that lifts you up. All right, so thank you for sharing that. We have who's that? Christian
thank
next.
you
Is
so
that
much.
Christian? Welcome, Ali.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Lewis. Yeah, I have
Good afternoon.
a background on.
That's all
Yes,
good, man.
yeah. So, well, first of all, I am courageous and I am resilient. And what I would like to say is that I would really love to represent my country, Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm from Trinidad and Tobago myself. A lot of people misrepresent me and think that I'm from a foreign country, but I'm not. Born and raised here in Trinidad, but I'm heavily mixed. But yeah, I would really like to represent my country and in football, and I would really like to bring a World Cup home.
Wow. So in sport of football,
Yes, yeah, football. That's my
thank
sport.
you. Beautiful. Thank you for your contribution. Very, very courageous of you. Out of the 100+ people that we've had in here today, for all those who have contributed, very courageous. And I can relate to you very well because when people say you're from Trinidad and Tobago, what? How? How? My parents had me. I was born there. Like, what do you mean how? I mean, so and little do they know that my grandparents and we can't even find how far back it goes and how intertwined I am as a Trini. So yeah, welcome to that club. It's okay. Once again, you just prove them wrong and show them who you are, and that's the beautiful thing about um, showcasing our multicultural country, multi-religious island, multi-ethnical island that we have. And you have expressed some of the things that we spoke about, and I want to really encourage you to take those things that you wrote down here today, and everybody who wrote down things here today, and study them. You know, read what you wrote, close your eyes, focus, expand. Read what you wrote, close your eyes, focus, expand on each thing so that you can create it. It's not easy to make a national team. It's not easy to win a World Cup. It's not easy to even go to the World Cup, but it is possible. And even if it wasn't done by the team that's done it in the past, it still would be possible because that's what life is about, creating the possibilities and trying our best to achieve them. And on our way to achieving them, however far we get, this is what our life experiences will have taught us to become stronger and the best versions of ourselves and to be as much as possible as a citizen of this world that adds value to the people around us. So I hope that is encouraging for you, Christian, and I hope my story was encouraging for you and you could also get all that you desire. Just keep going and try and just outwork your competitors, outwork your other colleagues to get to that success story that you want. Thank you, Christian. And who
Thank
we
you
have
very much,
next?
Mr. Lewis.
Gabriel Lewis.
Okay.
Gabriel Lewis.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lewis.
Afternoon, Mr. Lewis also.
I am brave and strong. I am a footballer from Trinidad and I play for the club, the V Connection. And I would like to reach to national and from there, you know, like I would like to play in like the Premier League and be the best of the best in the whole
That's what
entire
we're
world.
talking about. That's what we're talking about. You need to have that on paper, that you need to write that down and create that. And if I'm not mistaken, in the background, you had somebody who was amplifying what you were saying because they also believe in you. And this is the nice thing about it. You already have a team around you of people who are believing in the things that you were just expressing. So what I like about sharing these dreams here is that I personally believe that the TTFA and Mr. Lafuka today have created a platform that is positive, that is encouraging, that is opportunity driven. They don't always have that. This platform has been created as what I call a safe space to share that, because maybe somebody would have never known what you think your strengths or what your traits are. Somebody may have never known that maybe one day you want to go to the Premier League. Somebody may have never known these things about you until today. And we never know who is listening. We never know who is watching. So by expressing our best self and putting our best foot forward, we're giving ourselves a chance. We're giving ourselves, and I wrote down this said something I wanted to share with you all is when you wait for it with a positive mindset, people, resources, opportunities will come out, right? So when you go for the things that you want in life with a positive mindset, people, opportunities, and resources will come out. It's the people who have what they want, but they don't move and don't act upon the things that they want, is that they don't get it. So we got to move towards what we want, create opportunities, resources, and people around the things that we desire in order to create them. All right, so Gabriel, I wish you all the best on your journey. I'll be looking out for that other Lewis in the football field one day. And I hope that you continue to score goals and just achieve all that you desire. Is there anything else you want to share?
Yeah, and also like a lot of people just envy me for no reason because you know I am good and like some of the the parents and all too, they just simply don't like me because I'm better than their child or their children. Yes, and also like some people just play me bad because I'm better than them. Like the coach normally puts me on like bigger fellas, like under 18 and stuff. And my coach and they're actually pretty proud of me because I'm not afraid to run in there and take the ball from them and knock it around and score a goal. Yeah.
That is courageous. That is very, very courageous and ambitious. And listen, when you have these people that have the expressions on and off the field, let your talk just be done on the field, and that is what is a true testimony to your definition of who you are as an athlete. And when they want to talk after the field, you stay positive, you stay focused, you stay loving, you stay respectful, and I promise you, with these characteristics, they will leave you alone eventually. That's all it is. You will put them very quiet on the field, and regardless, when you become a success story in your career around football, you will get a lot of things around you. As athletes, you're gonna have a lot of negativity. Hey, you this, hey, you that, hey, you do this, you do that. All day long, they're talking about you because yes, envy is the word that you use. It's true. But you let your talking be done in the places where you believe speaks the most and speaks the most powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Nice, man. That's what we're talking about. You keep challenging them big boys and just keep climbing the ladder. You'll get there, man.
Yeah,
All
thanks a
right.
lot.
Most welcome. Most welcome. Who we have? Anybody else?
Come on, can we hear? Come on, guys. Come on. This is your
Look, we have
moment.
someone else. Who is this? Someone raising their hand. Is that Renelle? Is that how you pronounce your name, Renelle?
Yes.
Talk
The
to
reason,
me.
the reason why it's on that account is because my sister was logging on Zoom by mistake.
It's okay.
But I am a very hardworking and perseverant boy. Table tennis is my favorite sport. And there was in the beginning, there was some times where I was like, this sport is way too hard and stuff. But I kept on going, and now I'm like intermediate. I'm not really a pro, but I'm intermediate in between beginner and pro. And my goal one day is either to become the best ping pong player in the world or to represent my country. And yeah,
So what is your name?
Jonathan Allen.
Jonathan. Jonathan, that's a beautiful contribution, And I want to share this with you, not to scare you away. But I'm 31 years old, on the way to my third Olympic Games. And the truth is, I still have those thoughts also. And this is really hard. This is challenging. Why am I still doing this? And this happens when we're not winning. This happens when we're not enjoying some of the processes we have to go through that are mandatory for our success. This is part of it. And this is not only in sport, this is in all areas of your life, that we will go through these challenges that will keep popping up, that will challenge you and ask yourself these hard questions. Why am I doing what I'm doing? And you got to go back to the love of doing it. I love the ocean. I love to sail. I love to race. There are a lot of aspects of training that I don't get along very well with, is the polite way of saying it. But I know the beneficial aspect of it when it comes to my race, when it comes to me experiencing the sport in the best way. So Jonathan, there's a natural aspect, there's a natural part of achieving greatness, and fundamental that you learn to embrace them. The things that you don't like, try your best to find new ways to love them, and they will help. That will help you little by little get to where you want. But I love the ambition that you have of where you want to go. That's fantastic. I hope you have that written down.
That's awesome, Jonathan. And we have Lamin Dennis. Is that Lamin Dennis?
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead, buddy.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lewis. My name
Good
is Lamin
afternoon.
Dennis. I play for IDF, Interdevelopment Football Station, mainland Cary, and the Raleigh Durham area. But I'm 16 years old. Like I said, I play for IDF, and my goal right now is to try to be my best at soccer, and to one day to be looked at as dependable to my coaches, to not have to think twice about putting me on the field. And I want to be able to contribute more to my club and be more of an overall better soccer player or football player.
Beautiful, beautiful. If your wisdom, or if you're at 16 years old, is any close to that lovely beard you have in the picture there, I think you'll be more than good to go with the amount of wisdom that beard has. But on a real, we're talking a bit of football here, and it's really small world because Coach Dion was my football coach. And if you all look behind him in his picture, you all would have seen a picture of Coach and I believe in 2012 when I first qualified for my Olympics. And the truth is that football was my love. I would take a football even to church with me. Everywhere I went, I had a football in my hand. I would play football. My nose would start to bleed from the heat. I want to continue playing with a nosebleed. I would just want to play football every single day. Now, I did cause a good bit of stress or two on the coach, but that was because my deep desire was, and this is the truth, my deep desire was to be the best on the field and beat everybody all how, just win. But I couldn't. And some of the trouble I gave was because I was not winning. And this is important to learn to control yourself, because these things could work against you. You don't want to become a pest. You don't want to become something that the coaches don't want to give their attention to. No one wants to work with somebody who is a pest. No one wants to work with somebody who is making their life 5 times as hard as it should be. You want to work with people who are a joy to work with, who are open-minded, who want to listen, and who want to try hard, and who want to be the best versions of themselves every single day, no matter how young or older you are. So if it wasn't for people like Coach Dion, who stayed and continued, even though I probably gave him a good bit of stress, and who continued to see me as a person who really was ambitious and wanted to win, then I may not be here as an athlete right now, because some of the fundamentals of my sporting career started as football. And while I love football and I love the aspect, I also had the love for the Olympic Games and I had the love for the ocean. I had to make a choice. And I made that choice, and I'm very happy with my choice. But when we look back now, almost what it feels like plus 20 years, or even around 20 years ago when I was playing football under Coach Dion, none of us would have ever looked and said, Andrew, you're probably going to be an Olympic sailor. No, we didn't know that future. But what we did know, that I want to win. I want to be good. I want to try hard. So you gotta remember that 20 years from now in your life, you don't know where you're gonna be at. You don't know what shoulders you're gonna rub with that are gonna be able to have you in front of an audience here from around the world talking about the world of sport. I couldn't tell you that this day was gonna come, and I don't believe Coach could either. What he could probably tell you is, if he wants to share anything, is that Andrew was always there fighting and trying his best, and maybe causing a little bit of trouble every now and then.
What I would say, Andrew, and maybe from even back then, your passion, and sometimes we don't quite know where we'll end up, as you said so wonderfully. Your passion was, and there's no doubt why you are where you are now. Because the thing I want to say about that, Andrew, is that sometimes, you have this burning desire in you, and the people around you want to know what's going on with you. What's this all about, and I'll tell the youths on the call, you have that passion. Please don't stop. Don't stop. You know what's inside of you? Go for it. As you said, Andrew, prove them wrong. Just quietly prove them wrong. So, and then we have Samson Carell. Samson, Please say a few words, please.
Hello, greetings, Mr. Lewis, and thank you, Mr. Dion, for hosting this again. I'm on the football team, IDF. You probably a couple of our players have said a couple things, but so the questions that you ask, personally, it takes, I think, for me, it's gonna take a little bit longer to finalize a question, like answer, but I'm gonna think about it as I'm asking you this one question that I thought about. All right, so when you visualize and like try to manifest your dreams, are you manifesting or visualizing the goal, like the end goal, or how you're gonna get there? Like, are you visualizing the struggles that you'll take to get there, or the path that you'll take to get there, or just the goal, like just your final goal?
That's an excellent question, because the goal is the place you're trying to reach, but the journey is what will get you there. And if we can't understand the journey, we can't understand how to get there. But understanding the goal is always a priority. Where are we trying to go? We understand that this is the goal, this is what we're trying to create an outcome around. And from there, your visualization processes are all around your manifestation of what comes up every single day or every single week, of what do I need to overcome to get me a step closer. So if you're, for example, trying to achieve a certain fitness goal that is holding you back from an aspect of your game, your goal is to visualize getting over that, because you feel, or the team around you feels, that when you get past this, you will get there. Or if there's a specific technical aspect of your game or a mental aspect of game, you need to look right now as much as possible and understand really well, okay, cool, I want to achieve this place, this objective. What is holding me back? And start to identify them and ask the team around you, if you have one, to help you identify them and visualize those things and create those things and feel those things and get by them step by step. Because yes, I asked two of the most massive questions anybody could ever ask somebody. And that's because I'm not here for small goals. I'm not here to say, hey, let's see if I can teach you to cook a plate of food. No, we're here for massive dreams. We're talking about creating massive opportunities. We're talking about winning World Cups. We're talking about going to playing part of the Premier League. This is not no Mickey Mouse sports. This is massive objectives people are trying to accomplish. And these are the kind of people I love to spend time with, because they're thinking big. No matter what happens, they're thinking big. On their journey of trying to get to the Premier League, they may not get there, but they'll meet somebody who will take them to the next step of their life. And then on the way to there, they'll take is the next step of your life. Or maybe they'll get there. We never know. But the journey of trying there and learning how to visualize the steps of getting through each process is what will help us get through that. So yes, manifest the things that are feeling very present to you, that are almost, you feel like that are holding you back from taking the next step. The next step. Yeah?
Yeah.
And go ahead.
I also wanted to touch on oh darn. Actually, never mind.
No, go ahead, Carell. Go ahead. You have it in you, buddy. You have great to you. Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
Okay, so despite you being a different sport, coming into this, I always like listening into people who are successful and reading about people's like adventures and journeys to success. And so it was nice hearing about not nice hearing about your injury, but how you overcame it. Because recently I had fractured my kneecap like 2 months ago. And I was kind of in a pretty bad, or maybe the people around me didn't notice, but I was in a pretty bad spot. I had thought that like I wouldn't be able to play for way longer than I like actually did. But it was nice hearing your story of how you came back from that injury. And I think it related to me a lot, because I came back in a couple 2 months, I believe. So It was very nice game.
You were scared, no?
Yeah, a little bit for my
No,
future.
I mean, this is natural. No, this is part of the healing process that we have to go through in any experience that we have. It's the people who never actually heal from the experiences, the ones who never actually come out of it. So yes, the challenging part of the pain, the physical pain, the emotional pain, the fear, identifying them and letting them go little by little, just starting somewhere by a little belief system, or watching a little motivational video, or coming and joining us here today and connecting with someone else's story. This here is a true testimony that you came here and you got some value, and that this now could take you to the next piece of value that you will get. You're just connecting your value adding moments in your life to get you through whatever it is. And take that out of sport and put that in all aspects of your life, relationships, family, job, whatever it is. It'll really help you. And that's the benefit of sport. Sport pushes you to the limit. Sport breaks down your body in ways that most people don't experience. But it really teaches you how to overcome and be someone who could just get over hurdles little by little.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you good with that?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Before we go, I have one really important thing that I like to save for the end, because it's one of the most detrimental, I think, aspects to a human being. And I call it passion versus distraction. Right? Passion is where it starts. We have a deep desire to succeed. We have a deep desire to go somewhere. I hate people talking about being successful in rugby, table tennis, football, and many other sports, I'm sure. And I'm sure maybe there are parents listening here too. Passion is what we're born with and what we feel attracted to. Distraction is what will destroy you. And I want to identify some distraction things that are just real. And no matter how young or old you are, this is important. Alcohol will destroy you. Drugs will destroy you. Sex, women, and getting distracted by many things out there on Instagram and pornography, and many of these things will distract you and will swallow you up and really will hurt your career. This is a very tough conversation to bring up, because we hear it all the time. People in school, don't do drugs, don't drink alcohol. There is some things that we know that are not good for us. Things that we know that will not help us get to our career. I will not sit down here and tell you that I've never drank alcohol in my life. I have. I will not say that I am perfect. But what I would say is I believe I'm creating a good balance around everything that I do that's going to get me where I need to go. So we need to be aware of these distractions out there. And one of them, we don't often call them. We put out the alcohol and drug, but social media also is a drug. But we don't realize that what it is we are seeing, it is what we are creating. And what it is part of, I have something called your life diet. You want to write them down. Everything that goes into your life diet is going to make you who you are. Just 5 aspects. Everything that you see is a part of what creates who you are. Everything that goes into your mouth is a part of what creates who you are. Everything that goes through your eyes is a part of what creates who you are. Everything that goes through your nose is a part of what creates who you are. And lastly, everything that goes through your skin is part of what creates who you are. If you've never said a word to this day, this is what would have created who you are, just by the things that we intake. So ask yourself, what is your life diet? And is your life diet in a line with your passions? So we got to line up life diet with passion. Is your life diet a distraction or an attraction to your passions? They must merge. What is a very challenging topic, but bringing them together in a very healthy way will really help you have successful sports, relationships, marriages in the future if you don't have, be a successful businessman or woman, whatever it is, these things will really help you. And from experience, I've seen where it does not help and how it can bring you down. And I'm only sharing this because of my experience. I've seen how it has slowed me down and hurt me in certain places. And I've seen how not doing certain things, how it really helps lift me up and be just healthy as possible.
Andre 40, thank you very much, Andrew, for those very, very wise words. Andre Fortune had a question. Andrew, before we wrap up, Andre Fortune.
Jonathan, thank you for the time this afternoon. A very emotional but inspiring story. You already know who you are, but if I were to help you with that, I would add the word relentless to your profile.
Thank you.
You said a number of things, and I think I ask you 3 questions. What I heard you say is that you believe in God, that you had to trust on your journey, that you have a tremendous amount of gratitude. You express your appreciation for the gratitude you have for the Olympic Committee. They provided opportunity. You talk about hard work and you talk about feelings. If you were to rank them in order of importance, I'm sure belief in God would be number 1, but how would you rank them?
Yeah, God first and God always first.
Yeah.
And after that, gratitude second every single time. Gratitude for everything. And at the end of the day, we all have our different versions of God, our different feelings towards God. I will never, if anyone asks me who is God or what is God, I would prefer to not speak about that unless it's one-on-one with somebody, because there's so many versions, so many different beliefs, I would say. But most importantly, the Almighty, the Creator, the power that's bigger than us, the things that we cannot control and see out of our ability to live. And I always say that the chance of being born is 1 in 400 trillion. 400 trillion. That's the chance of being born on this planet. So if you are not God sent, I don't know what else it is to realize. Everyone has their own definitions. I'm not here to preach about religion and God. I'm just saying that's my vision. So for sure, God first, second, gratitude.
Thank you. Sorry.
You said write your goals down and protect them. How do you protect them?
Lovely. Well, when you look at it from an aspect of what it is am I trying to achieve, by nature, and it could be some of the closest people around you, you're going to say, hey, this is what I want to be. This is where I'm going to go. And they say, what? What madness are you talking about? You can't do that. You can't go there. It's not for you. We never did that in our family. You don't know who our family is. We can't achieve those things. We can't go in these places. And all of a sudden, you're like, I not come off the phone with Andrew Lewis and he told me I can do this, so and so just shut me down. Nah, boy. And this is your reality. This is part of your life diet. What you have just taken in, whether through your eyes, your ears, however you receive the message, you have just absorbed this and it's going to have a reaction on you. That if you keep hearing this over and over and over, you will become that. And you will lose the thought of what you can do because it kept being rebounded. So I mean, protect it. Be very aware who you're sharing it with. And if you share with somebody and they give you a very negative reaction, you don't need to go there again with that. You just prove your point in your own opinion of what you believe is important to you, and let your actions speak louder than your words for the future.
Oh, that's excellent. Sorry. Andre, that's it, or you have?
I had one more.
Right.
And I'm asking questions. I'm asking questions. Not more so for me, but for the kids, so that they could, at
awesome.
what point in time did you own your growth, your development in sailing? At what point in time that it was intrinsic? It was all about you. It was coming from you. It was 100%.
I think the best way to answer that question is in 2012, I was in Germany in a place called Botenhagen, and I had just qualified for my first Olympic Games after not doing it for the 2000 Olympic Games in China. And after all that I had gone through, and after just massive sacrifice of just thinking that, can I do this? I achieved it on that day I think it was May 10th in 2012. I lay down on the grass outside of my apartment for 3 hours by myself, looking at the sunset with no one around, no one to talk to, just reflecting on what had happened that day. And everything clicked. Everything had a purpose. Everything had an understanding. And everything from that day on just kept getting clearer and clearer. Now, it's been some blurred lines in between there for sure. But it all came together and I realized, that's why I'm here to do this. And even with all the things that I've continued to go through, they just really, I mean, when I say to you, I mean, it's hard for me to say, well, I know why I fell off the wall and almost died. That clicked. Any moment I may not have. But to this day, this story has been told around the world and I could help so many people. So I'm going to make that the click. I'm going to choose the click for it.
Well, you did the sport good today. I'll be watching and hope you could win the gold medal and fulfill that dream of yours. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Much
Thank you
appreciated.
very much,
And
Andre.
fantastic questions.
Fantastic. I was just about to say, Andrew, fantastic question. And we're gonna, guys, just bear with us for a few more moments. Israel, can you ask your question, please?
Yes. I was wondering, did you have like any more accidents that you might consider as dangerous as the accident you talked about earlier?
Did I have any more?
Yes, if you had any more.
Ooh, like you really like that story. You wanted double. No. That there was nothing. I mean, been run over by a boat. Small stitches. Some other small accidents for sure, but nothing to that magnitude.
Wow, that's cool. Great question. And we have Soprano. Somebody by the name of Soprano wants to ask a question.
Hey, Andrew, thank you so much as well, Dion. I'm also part of the coaching staff in IDF. I just had a quick question. You talked about the things that you see in your life, you smell, you put in your skin, stuff like that. And I think reading as well, kind of the information that you bring is extremely important. Is there anything that you follow, any books that you read in the past that you recommend for young kids? Is there any motivational speakers that you're always listening to, or podcasts, stuff like that the kids can use to kind of feed themselves, exactly like you said?
Beautiful. Yes, there is. I have a very wide range, and I'm a guy with a very international. I like to understand many religions, many ethnic backgrounds. So I've spent a lot of time listening to many different areas. Now, the first one is that there are a lot of things from the Bible that are extremely powerful and extremely helpful in the world of sport, in the world of in life on the whole. And some specifics. Other specifics is people like I don't know if you've ever heard of a guy by the name of Sadhguru. Sadhguru is a guy he just talks always about opportunities. He is the opportunity boss when it comes to it. He speaks about many different religions. And I believe he practices mainly the Hindu religion. But I'm not a guy that religion is something I'm very open-minded about. I have my values, but I believe that we can all learn from one another. I love John Maxwell. John Maxwell is also a great, someone talks about leadership, fantastic guy. Then there's another guy by the name of Les Brown. So, the classic Les Brown. Les Brown will get you off your feet and have you moving quick. We have Miles Monroe, another guy will get you off your feet moving quicker. These are classics, but classics that don't fail, in my opinion. And we have a lot of other good content. And I actually have a TV series that is actually running right now called Positive Moments with Andrew and Don. You could check that out on YouTube. There's a lot of value that you could find there. As a matter of fact, myself and Don, this Tuesday at 6 p.m. American Standard Time, we'll be going live again, reintroducing our season 2 of this episode. So you can find a lot of good content there that is very inspirational and motivational also. As far as I'm gonna encourage you all, right? I always encourage this, and I do get back to you little by little, but use my social media platforms to reach out to me and ask a lot of these questions. Instagram at Andrew Lewis Sailing, Facebook Andrew Lewis Sailing, Twitter Andrew Lewis Sail, or LinkedIn Andrew Lewis. Use my platforms, and as times go by, ask me these questions. I could share some books specific to certain aspects. Books is there's a lot of books I can have, a lot of audiobooks. I'm not, to be completely honest, I'm not too big in reading because I'm not the best at reading. I have a lot of dyslexia, but I'm getting a lot better at it, to be honest. But I'm a big guy with audiobooks. I like I like to take in a lot of my content from audiobooks and from podcasts too. So I have a lot of content I could share. So let's be more specific for the future. Reach out to me directly, and I can direct you all little by little. Don't expect me to get back right away, guys, but I will try my best little by little to share with you all.
Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it. I'm the
Thank you
same
very
way.
much, Coach. Thank you very much. Andrew, we have a little surprise for you. So we talked about the Olympics. On the call, just to say a few words to you and to the participants, we have Miss Annette Knott, the Secretary General of the Trinidadian Olympic Committee. So Miss Annette Knott, the floor is yours.
Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Auntie Annette.
Hi, how sweetheart. How are you? How are things?
Everything is
How's
going lovely.
Yeah.
Everything is on track. It's beautiful to see you and hear from you.
So my quick, because it's what all the things you've said, I don't need to say another word. You've really, I'm sure, inspired all these young people on the call. I just want to talk about my first experience meeting you in 2012. And I totally agree with the guy who said you're relentless. I was going as the chef de mission. Andrew was this young sailor, just qualified. And he kept in touch. He wanted to find out everything. He crossed every T and dotted every I. But the amazing thing is, he didn't have a manager or anybody else. He did it himself. And that shows that he didn't, at that time, probably didn't have all the fancy support that he has now as 3-time Olympian. But in those days, he did it himself and he was relentless. And so while in 2015, it was a real shock, I was so worried about him, whether he would make it through. Well, again, Andrew relentless. Andrew is Andrew. Andrew walked out for the opening ceremony of the Rio Olympic Games. None of us would have dreamed that he would have done that. If you had seen him, I saw him just after he came back from Brazil after his accident, and I never believed that he would do it. So relentless, everything that he's told you today, take it as gospel, because he's really has been one of our outstanding athletes. And the information he gave you today, the inspiration he has given you today, I could vouch for it. It is, as I said, gospel truth. And so I would really all like you to listen to what he's been saying and to congratulate again Dion Lafoucauld and the TTFA where this series, There Is Hope. I've been joining him on another series, Everybody In for Coaching, but this is wonderful, and it's wonderful. 100 people on today. Well done, Dion, and keep up the great work. And Andrew, I will see you in Tokyo. So keep working hard, and to all of you young people, you have your dream and make sure that you protect that dream and your goal. So thanks a lot.
Thank you very much,
Thank you
Mrs. Knott.
very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
our final
Thank you.
question for the day, that would be from Angel George. Final question for the day. Angel, go ahead, please. Angel, you're there. You can ask your question. Go ahead.
Ah, okay, I will answer that. I will answer that. Yes. This is an important question. The answer is yes, many, many times, and it still crosses my mind to this day because that is the easy way out.
And you
If
just
we
share
do
the
the
question for the benefit of the audience. Just share the question.
sure. Have I ever thought of giving up? Of course, giving up is the easy way out. If we do the easy things in life, life will be hard. If we do the hard things in life, life will be easy. Giving up is just so easy, and you can just turn to something that's probably even easier, but it will not bring me the fulfillment that I am here on this planet for. It wouldn't bring me the fulfillment that I have deep desire inside of me. It wouldn't bring me this fulfillment that I am really trying to achieve. Fulfillment is purpose. Purpose is life. Life is here for a reason. I'm gonna achieve my purpose, and I'm gonna help people achieve their purpose because it wasn't something I had much of an ability to do when I was a young boy. But to this day, I have a platform now that I can help people with, like we're doing here today. So when you feel like giving up, you just need to reset. You just need to refine the love in what you do and what you're trying to achieve, and realize that it's probably because you're not succeeding at it the way you want, or you're not getting the results that you want. And you need to try harder or be smarter or find the next thing in life that is leading you to. So yeah, giving up is a tough one, but don't give up. Don't give up.
And let me say this to the audience before y'all go. When I spoke with Andrew, I was asking Andrew to come on. Something Andrew said to me that just played in my mind the entire time. He is here for you guys. He's not here for himself. And that's stuck in my mind. Said, Dion, I'm going to be there for the kids. I'm not there about myself and promoting myself. And that stuck in my mind. You know, is the humility, you know, going on to your third Olympics, but the humility and being a nice person, Andrew. I mean, you've made so many fantastic points. So many fantastic points. If you guys can use the chat as I got from Don, broom in the Zoom, can you just put down it? And I love what Miss Knott says. You must be able to have one or two takeaways, right? You can have more. Can you use the chat quickly, and let's just tell Andrew some things that we will never forget. I just wrote quite a few. So can you just put a few that will resonate with you for the rest of your lives, please? Can we put that in the chat, please, everybody? Some things that will stay with you, you know. And Andrew, obviously, when we on hard work makes
Look
life
at how
easy.
funny this is. Look at how funny this is. From Joanne Ward, somehow Joanne Ward wrote in a group private message, so you probably can't see it, is that her sister Naima Thompson would have loved to see this. Who Naima's in Vietnam. For you all who don't know, Naima Thompson was one of my teachers in secondary school and high school. Wow. She was one of the persons who were fundamental in helping me get through some of the challenging times in my class, in my school. So you don't realize how close your team is to you, how far they are. Don't be very careful of who is inside the places where you're in groups of and what groups you're around. You never know who is around. And thank you all for sharing these wonderful, wonderful things. So Joanne, please send my regards to my amazing, amazing friend, Naima Thompson.
Oh, that's fantastic. You know, and we want to thank St. Joseph Convent San Fernando, the principal there for sending the youths on, the guys from all the way in Canada, the guys from America, the guys from the Caribbean, the folks from Trinidad and Tobago. We want to thank you very much on behalf of the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association, the FIFA Trinidad and Tobago Normalization Committee. We want to thank you very much, Andrew, for taking the time, your busy schedule. We went a little bit over the time, but you know what? It's definitely worth it. This is going to stay with me, and I'm sure everybody on the call for the rest of our lives. So Andrew, again, we wish you all the success in Tokyo, and we know you'll make us proud. We know you'll make us proud. And Andrew, you're very infectious. I have to tell you that, very infectious, and you're going to meet some other Olympic athletes there from different sports, and I'm sure they're going to be saying, Andrew, you know, thank you very much. I think Karel wants to say something on behalf of the group. Karel, on behalf of the group from the States, you want to say something, please?
Yes, I'd like to thank you for having us here and allowing us to learn about your journey and the obstacles that you've overcome the tremendous obstacles that you've overcome, hearing your story. As well as there was one quote that you said, I couldn't write it all down before you finished, but I wrote down like a part of it. It was consumed by what has happened and then something else. Could you finish that for me?
Sure, it is. If you get consumed by what has happened,
yes,
you won't be able to get past, you won't be able to see what can be with what is. If you get consumed by what has happened, you won't be able to focus on what can be with what is.
Thank you very, very much. And Andrew, I see you writing books very soon, buddy. Very, very soon. Because you're inspiring people all over the world, including your fellow countrymen. That's astounding. So you have a very bright future with you, Andrew. Thank you very much to Mark, Israel, to Aaron Maroof, to Yale Antoine, the people behind the scenes doing all the technical work. It's a lot goes into putting on these seminars. I want to thank you very much publicly for what you have done to make this possible, because yes, it's an idea that I came up with, but without you guys, this would not be possible. Without God, none of this would be possible. So I want to thank all of you. Andrew, we want to say that you're safe. You're traveling from one country to another country, and then you're eventually going to make it over to Japan. We want to wish you a safe and enjoyable time, and we know that you'll do our country proud. On behalf of everybody, thank you. Have a wonderful afternoon, and everybody stay safe. Thank you very much.
God bless
Thank
everybody.
you, Mr. Lewis.
Goodbye.
Welcome. Goodbye.
Thank
Goodbye,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye, Andrew.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.